call the regular council meeting to order, 5:00 PM, March 27th, 2024. Can I get approval of the agenda? Recommended that the regular council meeting agenda for March 27th, 2024 be approved as circulated. Councillor Bailey, Councillor Evans, all in favor? And it's carried. Adoption of the minutes. Recommendation of the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 13th, 2024 be adopted as Councillor Beach, Councillor Bushel, all in favor. Thank you. March 4th, a regular council meeting.
Nope.
Recommendation that the minutes of the special council meeting held on March 14th, 2024 be adopted. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushel, all in favor. That's a lot of housekeeping. Now we have a delegation. We have Highway 97 pathway trees, Eli Walsh. Take it away, Eli.
So I recently purchased a lot over on Hemlock, South. And as I was kind of staking out the property, you know, some kind of caught my eye, and that was the trees off of Highway 97. It appears to me that a lot of the trees, you know, maybe that property, I moved here about 4 years ago, so I'm not sure what it used to look like, the landscape, but maybe it used to be treed. And if so, that's probably the reason why the trees are dying. But if you look at all, you know, a lot of the trees in that area, some of them are actually dead, and a lot of them, the tops of the trees are starting to die, as well as all the pine needles and the rest of it. It's just, you know, as you open up ground and expose the sun to something that grew for years under the shade, this kind of thing happens. And then I start to look around and notice, you know, there's 5 or 6 lots there that we have yet to actually build on. One fella's about to start breaking ground. Myself and my neighbor, I'm in lot 2. They just recently purchased lot 1. When he showed up on the property, he also expressed his first thing was actually the concern for the trees. And so I just wanted to bring attention to the district. Maybe it's something, you know, that we just don't notice things. But as people start to put houses in there and these trees get dead, who's liable for the trees in the big windstorms when they come down? Not only on the houses, but as well. But, you know, I'm not here today to kind of say like, you know, I want to see these trees removed because that's the last thing I really want to see, but unfortunately, it's trees. And so as we start to remove them, is there any sort of thing in place to kind of replace for every tree taken out, you know, replace another tree or that nature? Because that trail, you know, the kind of ambiance or, you know, feel that you get when you walk down there is kind of something that I think is important. It should be maintained just for the community's sake, you know. So I just wanted to bring attention today that somebody should be looking at these trees, and you know, the houses are yet to be built, so it's a good time to drop them in the big open area. Otherwise, it can cause other problems with trees against the highway. That's all. I just wanted to bring attention. So
Thank you, Eli. Daryl or Nicole, do you guys want to comment? Or both of you, pick one first.
Sure, through the chair. Yeah, so it's an ongoing thing every year. We go through, do our inspections. We were there a couple of weeks ago, taking some stuff down from the storm. And we've identified some more dead trees that'll need to come out. And we are planning to infill with some more stuff. Yeah. So
I just wanted to bring it to attention.
For sure.
You know, becomes a insurance policy thing, right? Like,
yeah.
And if nobody says anything, at least now that I brought it to attention, it's kind of like somebody's life. So.
I'll get your address later.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, thanks.
Great, thanks, Eli.
Thank
you. Thanks. Okay, so 2024 financial plan presentation. Bianca, take it away.
Perfect. Before I open up my PowerPoint, I just wanted to bring council just to show you a few things. Usually you do budget highlights, which is posted on the website. This year, I also created a detailed financial plan, which has gone live on our website. And it's just a little, you know, little table of contents. People can click, go to different sections and all that. So if anyone's interested or you have questions, like people question you or they want to know more about the financial plan, there is this detailed summary, which I hope is helpful for the public. instead of having to go through all the financial meetings and stuff like that, this is just a nice detailed summary on what's going on. So with that, I will bring up my presentation. Okay. So the 2024 financial plan with a little heart finance or bear. So why are we here? To set a budget for 2024. A budget is an estimate of income and expenditures for a set period of time. Why do we need a budget? Budgets are needed for many reasons, including to provide staff with direction. So just imagine the canoe is Daryl saying, where are we going? And I can say to him, don't worry, we have a plan. So something for all staff members to follow throughout the year when making decisions that require expenditures and such. It's also to establish our tax rates, to plan, organize, track, and improve finances. And lastly, it is a requirement under section 165 of the community charter that we set a financial plan annually. So how did we get here? Before we even had our first finance meeting, staff got together. I've met with all the different managers, had discussions over the different departmental budgets. We had five finance committee meetings, November 22nd, December 7th, December 13th, January 24th, and February 28th, all led by a new chair, Mr. Bob Evans. And we went over operational changes, capital budgets were reviewed, water and sewer rates were set for 2024, and we looked at our preliminary taxes. So what are we doing today? We're going over a summary of the details of the financial plan. We are looking at our 2024 project highlights, an overview of revenue and expenses, reviewing the tax effect on the average homeowner, and then following up with our first 3 readings of the financial plan. So the budget has considered many things, one of them being reserves. So in 2024, we have close to $1 million getting transferred to our reserves for mainly capital items in the future. We put in, once we looked at our overall increase, at the last finance committee meeting, we determined that we could bump up our general fund transfers by an additional 5% to try to, keep with inflation. We have grants that we've considered. So operating grants are to the tune of $760,000. And I would say, and climbing, we have been notified by the province that there's additional funds getting thrown at us in order to help cover new legislation and stuff like that. So as we find out on how we're going to spend that and everything, we'll bring that to council. But right now, our financial plan has $760,000, capital $5.7 million in the current year. And then we've also considered our taxes. So a 1% tax increase is about $50,000 in revenues and a $21 per the average residential home. We'll go over some budget highlights for the year. So a lot of construction projects happening. Key infrastructure upgrades for the year. We have the Riverside water main upgrade. Between water and the roads component, it comes in over $1.2 million. A portion of this is being funded through DCCs. So 34% is DCC funded. We have Boutwell lift station upgrade, $650,000. More lift station upgrade, which includes a new generator at $200,000, and that ties with the Riverside water main upgrade. Paving, keeping on track there, $150,000. And wastewater treatment plant planning, $50,000. We have our healing center has now commenced, groundbreaking ceremony on March 11th. Total build budget, $10 million, 79.5% of that grant funded. And this will keep finance extremely busy throughout the year as there's a lot of grant reporting that we'll have to keep on top of and make sure, you know, cash coming in is good for cash going out, so. Other things with our parks and recreation, almost to the tune of $900,000, 28% grant funded. And that big one is the pump track. Money coming over from the EOF for that, for a portion of that, which is great. Pathways and trails, we have earmarked $100,000, focusing on the traffic light to Saw Squaw Bridge. We have our mountain bike park, which sounds like we're slowly making leeway on, so hopefully we get to use that 100K this year. Finlayson dock replacement and Finlayson Park improvements. One thing that has been earmarked for next year is to look at a plan for the playground at Finlayson Park as well. So lots going on around Finlayson Park. We have our fire department. So our replacement of engine 5, 410,000. I actually think this is gonna come in a little bit under budget. Our new engine 5, I've just learned, on Monday, it's gonna be getting received in the first week of April. So our new fire chief is gonna come back to a new engine.
Fire truck.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. And we have our SPU trailer getting commissioned. Shelving was put in, and Travis over Carter Hall right now is just dealing with final touches in order to get it so it's ready for deployments this summer. And it sounds like the green light is pretty much there. And training props, 10,000. So when our new fire chief, of course, this budget was considering comments from Brett. So when our new fire chief comes in, I'll be sitting down with him and go over the budget he has to work with for 2024 and determine future, the next 5 years. Other projects, so this one is getting passed on to other developers now, but we have our housing projects breaking ground. Our food cycler municipal program is fully out there right now using climate action grants. We're exploring natural assets and looking for grant funding there. And Nicole is working with MOTI to start a transportation corridor study, to which MOTI will cover half. Of course, we have some things that we wish we didn't have to cover, like the railway crossing rehab. I've used the estimate we had when putting this together, which was 160,000, but Daryl and CP are working together to bring that number down. And we also have our WCB rates, which Sean has done up the estimate for that. It's about $40,000 in increased WCB rates and also an increase to the maximum. So things that we have no control over. So with all that said, we've summed it all up into one beautiful little schedule, and that is our financial plan, which we will be doing first 3 readings. Revenues, grants this year actually surpassed property taxes just because we have the healing center. So 6.5 million. All other numbers are pretty close to previous years. Expenses, same real format as previous years, nothing crazy to report there. And then our capital, health services, the healing center is making up the vast majority of our capital expenditures for the year. So how much can an average homeowner expect to pay for municipal services? So including their water and their sewer, the average homeowner can expect to pay just under $2,800 a year, which comes out to about $7.64 a day. Yeah, so pretty good. And we've compared it to other municipalities, looking at their average residential homes and everything, and we're about on par with those communities around us. And that is my summary. So next steps, today we have 3 readings of the financial plan bylaw. On April 10th, looking to adopt the financial plan bylaw. And then May 8th at the latest will be the adoption of the tax rates bylaw. I will bring it to council as early as I can once I get all of the rates in order to even do that bylaw in the first place. Any questions?
Bianca, thank you. Questions? Counselor Bailey?
Yeah, I'm just looking through, I see where the health budget is, where did we put the DevCorp budget? Is that under
It's-
the,
It's in development service.
or is it under economic development? But I see there was a comment just beside it. It looks like economic development, 213,500.
The portion in there is to the.
And it has some of the-
Well,
Yeah,
it's DevCorp, and Chamber.
okay,
And then, the little bit of like swag and stuff makes up that total number.
okay, all right. That makes sense to me now, because I was like, well, we're not giving the chamber 213,000. So, okay, all right. So but just, sorry, that is the allocation we give to DevCorp in that number.
Yes, DevCorp, and the tourism piece in there, and then the Chamber.
With the visitor information.
Yes, for the visitor information.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Counselor Bushel?
Through the chair and more for Daryl, Daryl, what do we do with our lift station or like our, lift station? Are they reused at all or like you keep them for backup or anything like that? Or when you replace them, they're done?
Through the chair, depending what's going on at them. So we've got a capital project identified for Moore Lift Station this year.
Yep.
So Moore, the wet well is fine. So it'll stay in place. It's never had a generator, so it will.
Okay.
It's never had direct power, so it will. And we'll disband the connection between there and all the way to Young Street, where we're running power under the sidewalk.
And generator wise, we haven't replaced any generators, have we? Like probably no need or have we? Not that I remember.
Through the chair, I don't recall replacing any. No, they don't get a ton of hours. They get run every month, but and service, but
Great.
not replaced.
Thank you. Good job, Bianca. Thank you.
Anyone else? Counselor Bailey?
Yeah, sorry. Just another into the weeds question here. I think we covered it, but I see the bioheat facility. I mean, we're taking all the revenues and we're putting it into reserve, but then we need to allocate 25,900 to operate it this year. Am I reading that right?
So, yeah, so here, I'll just bring up, bear with me, on the last finance committee meeting.
Yeah, I might have missed that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the chair, Bianca, the screen isn't sharing anymore, just so you know.
Yeah, that's okay, right now. Just so you can have a visual. Share it. So it's based on, so these are the actuals for 2023 when this is prepped. And then they were kind of testing things out a bit here. So it could change a little bit, but the expenditures are based on our insurance, which is set, materials and wood chips. And I set that on the tons that have been used so far to date, because that's our best estimate of the fuel, and then propane. Right now, we don't have any wages allocated to it because it's getting operated by Fink for the first few years. So that in the future will change a little bit, but that's the budget right now for it.
Okay. Let's just a follow up. It's good. I mean, it's making more revenue than it's
Yeah.
costing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a little.
It's a little.
Yeah, like it looks like but there is revenue. It's just that we're taking. Yeah, okay, got it. Thanks.
And I also to that point, I think there's others that are going to be hooking up to
Yeah.
it fairly soon. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just listed in here as an expense, correct?
Yeah, there's an revenue and there's an expense, and then the net goes to reserve.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Any questions? Bianca, I do have a question. It's about grant funding. Do you know if the community, the 1.7 we got, if the community grant funding is going to be sharing some more of that? money? Have you heard any?
If they're gonna be giving more, have not heard any of that.
Okay.
No,
Just checking.
I'll be open to it.
Surprise.
Of course, we all will. Okay, Bianca, thank you so much. Okay,
Sorry,
Sarah.
through the chair, just this part too, we need to open to the public for public input.
Or for the finance
Yes.
portion?
So
Okay.
anyone.
Okay, anyone online or in the gallery want to address the financials that Bianca just presented? Okay. We'll carry on then. So we're gonna go to the District of Sycamoose Revitalization Tax Exemption Bylaw number.
Do the first three readings of the financial plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Did we do a first and a second on that?
No,
No, we didn't. Recommendation, the District of Sycamoose Financial Plan Bylaw number 1064/2024 be given first, second, and third reading this 27th day of March, 2024. Can I have a mover? Counselor Evans, Counselor Beach, all in favor? Carried. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, recommendation, the District of Sycamoose Revitalization Tax Exemption Bylaw number 1059/2024 be adopted this 27th day of March, 2024. Can I get a mover? Counselor Bushel, Counselor Beach, Bianca, take it away.
So this is the revitalization tax exemption bylaw for adoption. And the big highlights here, we've made some changes to the table, the different areas. So we have removed the highway commercial area, the town center, the map has shrunk to focus on the downtown core. The industrial has been expanded a little bit to include other industrial zoned lots. The hotel has been reduced the number of sleeping units to 25 to try to entice, say, a boutique hotel, smaller, and the new addition of purpose-built rentals. A couple other things to note, we've put in that exemptions are not available for commercial storage facilities, cannabis operations, alcohol, drive-through service, and vehicle service stations. So those are really I would say, the big highlights of this, and yeah.
Thank you, Bianca. Questions, anyone? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Okay, fees and charges amendment bylaw number 1063/2024. Recommendation of the District of Sycamoose fees and charges amendment bylaw number 1063/2024 be adopted this 27th day of March, 2024. Could I get a mover? Counselor Beach, Counselor Bailey, Bianca.
Again, this one's for adoption. So this bylaw is increasing sewer rates by 5%. Adding in some additional wording for secondary dwelling units where there's an additional meter. To give them the opportunity to get their fixed charge reduced by 50%. Just to support that we want long-term housing. And new wording added for if the water meters aren't working properly, and this will help staff with dealing with those issues. And yeah, that's my summary for that one.
Questions, Counselor Evans.
Just a comment, when you see something like sewer rates going up by 5%, that's not only because of just it's more expensive, we also have to plan for the future, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these rates, like the sewer rates, the water rates, this summer, we're gonna be doing a further review. Really looking at, Daryl's research on sewer and doing a long-term plan on what that looks like. And I mean, all these rates, we're doing asset management, we're working on that. So as soon as staff has that information, it'll be shared with council and we can make some, long-term planning decisions.
Excellent, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let's call the question. Carried, thank you. Okay, staff report, Strata KAS 3387 Silver Sands Covenant Removals. Recommendation, the District of Sycamoose Council authorize staff to remove the section 219 Local Government Act covenants from strata KAS 3387 Silver Sands RV Resort located at 1383 Silver Sands Road. Could I get a mover on that? Counselor Beach, Counselor Bushel. Nicole, do you want to
Okay,
take that away?
Chair, so I don't have a presentation for this. I'll just go over some of the staff report. We received a request to remove two covenants from Silver Sands Resort, that 1383 Silver Sands Road. The covenants both state that no building may be used as a dwelling unit on a permanent basis as a full-time residence. And a dwelling unit means recreational vehicle or park model trailer. So we did some exploring, part in relation to removing the covenants and our proposed citing permits amendment to the building bylaw. And so in zoning bylaw 1000/2022, rec vehicles and park model trailers are identified as a permitted use in the RVP1 zone. We just did that with Terry, who's on the line, representing the strata. And so in the RVP1 zone, the zoning bylaw does not have any language limiting rec vehicle or park model trailer. And I think that was the intention when zoning bylaw 1000 was adopted. Maybe this room knows more than I do, but that's what I've heard. And so because it's not limited, there's an implied understanding that year-round usage of park model trailers are permitted in RVP1, getting ahead of myself. Okay, so to the best of our knowledge, we haven't enforced these covenants and people are living at Silver Sands Resort year-round. And the covenants don't actually specify the purpose of regulating year-round use or like if it was some kind of safety concern. So it's vague on that. So I mentioned we're looking at implementing hopefully some amendments to the building bylaw for citing permits, and it would require park model trailers to meet some setbacks. And I think that would be especially important for year-round use of park model trailers at Silver Sands. So that's something to keep in mind. So I guess, yeah, just given that it's already permitted under zoning bylaw 1000, the year-round use, and we're probably working towards this amendment to the building bylaw for citing permits, we would recommend that we remove these two covenants. And if we want to regulate year-round use at all, we could do that through, and it's better through the zoning bylaw.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know if Terry online wanted to say anything.
Terry, are you online?
Yeah, and I agree with Nicole. We've been working on having that removed from both the.
Okay, thank you.
Having
Council,
these
any,
covenants removed since with Melinda back in 2018. Hello? Can you hear me?
we're here. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you guys are too. I agree with it. The only thing I would ask is that we would like to see these covenants removed. We've been working with the city on that since 2018, but we would like to be part of the conversation on the citing for park models with the city, if we could, please.
Okay, no, that sounds good. And I think staff is recommending that. So, Council Rich?
Through the chair. Nicole, I'm just wondering how this affects, I'm on the housing committee. And when we put in secondary suites, they need to be to the code to build a secondary suite. And this was something that we talked about just because you're about $200,000 or $250,000 to put in a little garden house. Does that then open the door for people to then actually have a modular home? You know, like one of these, they're pretty cool, actually. Dropped in? Does that change any of that for the building code if we're allowing permanent?
Well, yeah, through the chair. So just because we allow year-round use of the rec vehicles and park models doesn't mean it would obviously fall under the BC building code. That's a good question we'd have to look into, because what you're saying is if you have a single family dwelling already on a lot, can you plunk in, well, I guess a park model trailer if you had a big enough lot, and that would count as your secondary dwelling?
Yeah, I'm curious about it because the they're about 125 grand to put one in before the cement, but to put in a little unit, like 600 square feet, what we're looking at with the housing committee, you're looking at $225,000. So if someone has to mortgage that, you know, their rent needs to be between $1,200 and $1,500 for 25 years. So, you know, it really, unless you're putting your grandparents or your kids in the back suite, you're not profiting, right? So I'd just be interested.
Anyone else? Okay, let's call the question. All in favor? And it's carried. Thank you. Okay, 2024 Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference and Trade Show. Sarah, do you want to give us a report?
Through the chair, this is a fun one, so it's really about council deciding who will attend the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Annual Conference and Trade Show in Calgary, June 6th to 9th with yourself. So there is a policy, a council convention policy that states that the mayor will attend and that the councillor that attends, the one other councillor, will be chosen by lottery. Typically don't do that.
That's fun though.
It is. I actually have names and a hat ready to go. But I know last year council was in favor of Councillor Evans attending because he hadn't attended previously and due to other commitments, he was unable to attend. So it's really just for your discussion. We might look at bringing this policy back and because it's, you know, maybe council so chooses to appoint someone instead.
So historically, what we've done is whoever hasn't gone to, that's what we've been doing for the last 8 years. Whoever hasn't gone gets a chance to go, right? So Bob didn't go last year and he was the first one that spoke up this year wanting to go to Calgary. So does anyone disagree with Bob going to Calgary? No.
Oh.
So is it necessary that we change the policy or are we still like good with, you know what, let's have a conversation?
I personally really like the lottery thing. That sounds like a lot of fun. So it can be good. Yeah, no, I think the lottery thing is great. Why not?
Councillor Bushel.
I like the lottery thing too. Right? If we win the lottery, could we sell it to Bob? I'm all for Bob.
Are we good?
you want to do it good on?
We want to know.
Next the lottery. Okay, so then there's a motion that if I'm hearing correctly, that everyone's comfortable with Councillor Evans attending with Mayor Anderson, that Mayor Anderson and Councillor Evans be selected to attend the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Annual Conference and Trade Show in Calgary, June 6th to June 9th, 2024.
Need a mover. Councillor Bushel, Councillor Beach, all in favor. Bob it is. What about Bob? Okay,
I'll take you to Pete's Drive-In, Madam Mayor.
excellent. Do they have gluten-free buns?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that sounds great. Okay, notices of motion, keeping it rural conference, May 21st to 23rd, 2024. Councillor Beach.
I'd like to go, please.
Anyone oppose Councillor Beach going to the rural conference? Okay, I think you're good to go, Councillor Beach. Thanks for bringing that to council. Do we want a motion?
The staff feel comfortable.
I think it's pretty obvious, but we could do it for formalities.
Okay.
The Councillor Beach and
Sure.
the 2024.
Councillor,
Rural.
Councillor Bob, Councillor Evans. And seconded by Councillor Bailey, all in favor. Okay, we've done some little housekeeping. There we go. Okay, we've got Communities in Bloom proclamation request for action. Who's addressing this? Is Deb online?
Oh, yeah.
Deb, do you want to, hi, Deb, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, so obviously it's something that came and Sarah asked me to speak to it in terms of being a sponsor to support it. I think it could be fun. We've got some things coming up in advance of that. And I think having a week where we just kind of say, hey, you know, like, let's focus on Communities in Bloom in Sycamoose and, you know, do a little bit of communicating to the residents about all the great things that have come out of Communities in Bloom and, you know, do a little bit of PR. I don't think it would hurt. And I've got it in my calendar if you guys are okay with supporting it to do a little bit of PR around it.
Council, any questions? Okay, could I get a motion? Councillor Bushel, Councillor Beach. Go ahead, Sarah.
Sorry, through the chair. There's actually the proclamation that would need to be read out. And the reason I contacted Deb is that through the policy, it states that there should be local sponsorship for any proclamation requests. So Sycamus Communities in Bloom is the local sponsor, and then this is the proclamation. I don't know if you want to read it out.
Sure. Whereas in Canada, we are fortunate to have a multitude of communities committed to fostering civic pride, environmental responsibility, and beautification. And whereas communities are committed to ensuring sustainable development for future generations. And whereas participation in Communities in Bloom builds communities, strengthens volunteer and community development, enhances social interaction, and creates community pride. And whereas the benefits provided by Communities in Bloom may boost the economy, create sustainability, enhance property values, attract new business, and increase tourism. And whereas our parks are open spaces, green spaces, and trails ensure sustainability, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and preserve plant, animal, wildlife. And whereas all community levels, municipal, residential, commercial, and institutional, work together to ensure the voluntary sector and private enterprise throughout the community participating in the planning, development, and operations of recreation and parks, programs, services, and facilities. Now therefore it be resolved that Communities in Bloom does hereby proclaim that the week of May 6th has been designated as Communities in Bloom Week, which will annually recognize and celebrate the benefits derived from Communities in Blooms and the countless volunteers and individuals that make our communities great places to live. Hey, thanks. Okay, glad I could do that. Okay, so now that we've done the
Mover.
we've got a mover and a seconder. All in favor? And it's carried. Thank you very much. Deb, anything else?
No, that's all good. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have correspondence for information. Does anyone want to speak to any of the correspondence that we have? Councillor Bushel, go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair, I just wanted to see if you guys had a good look at the UCI pump track write-up on there that Daryl provided. It's just amazing what can happen in the fall, and it could really become a really you could on-season or off-season event. So we can be hosting all kinds of events with this track. So it's a really great presentation, and thanks for putting that together, Daryl. I'm really excited about it.
Excellent. Okay, there's just a couple of things that I'd like to address, and one is the Bill 34 resolution and how that did not get supported. And we're getting a lot of support from it, so I'm not sure if we should try and take a run at that one more time or let it ride, but I really do think that there needs some guardrails around. And I think we feel as council, I shouldn't say we feel as council that there should be some guardrails around illicit drug use. And Ian, you sent us a article about the Oregon recriminalizing illicit drugs. And basically we sometimes follow in their footsteps, but we are not this time. We're just still digging. So I'm wondering how this council feels about taking further action, or you just want to take a pause, a hold on it. Councillor Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, just on the Oregon thing, they basically have done a 180. They have said anything they did in the past, and even the sponsors of the bills that was in the state legislature, they have said it's a failed experiment. And they've said it has not worked. I'm not opposed to taking another run. I just wonder with the provincial election coming up that this is going to be, I think, heavily debated amongst the parties. There's several that have come out to say they're absolutely against that policy. The NDP, obviously, they're for it. And then there's this question of the court decision as well. I think that's how it originally got set aside.
Court decision.
So then it has to go through the court to even, I don't even quite know where, it looks like it's just very complicated at this point, but I mean, we could reaffirm our motion, if we wanted to do that, like we passed a pretty clear motion, some months ago, but yeah, I'm definitely, I just wonder if it's just a complicated time to go and redo it, but I wouldn't mind reaffirming the motion. I still believe in it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Councillor Rich.
Well, through the audit too, or through the chair. Through the audit that's come out just in the last couple of days, they've said, you know, one of the things they've said is, one of the issues why it's not working is because municipalities are not supporting it. They've also said that, safe supply or safer supply is actually, they know it's being, distributed by drug dealers. So, I mean, I think if it's not too much work for staff, again, us just saying, you know, this isn't something we think is good for our town. I'm all for that. You know, there's enough problems.
So should we direct staff to do a letter reaffirming our position? Do you want me to make a motion on that? Okay, Councillor Bushel makes a motion.
Sure.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Bailey. Any more conversation about this? All in favor?
Sorry, through the chair, I just want clarity on the letter itself, so bring the position, just can you, of the previous council motion
Yeah.
regarding
Yeah.
support for Bill 34, because we've also written a letter to the premier about decriminalization and as well.
No, support of Bill 30.
Support of Bill 34, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted clarity on that, thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Councillor Bailey.
And I think what we did put in that motion as well, I can't quite recall, was the reasoning for it, that we believed in guardrails, that we believed that this needed not to be in parks, all that sort of stuff that we've gone over.
That was in the previous letter, so that's why I'm thinking like maybe a
Yeah.
combination of the two.
I think that would.
For Bill 34, and then just again, council's position on decriminalization and what council has done with regulating the parks and use in parks. Yeah,
Yeah, Yep, that'll work.
okay, okay. So there's mover, seconder, and everyone's,
Everyone's in favor.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, and one more thing, Daryl, you're good with Green Shirt Day?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't.
council, anything else that you?
I was just gonna bring up what Sherry wrote in as well, but you've connected with her and everything.
Good,
Yeah.
I'm aware of this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Promoted on our
Yeah.
social
Okay,
media. and
great.
the Information as well.
Okay, anything else on correspondence from anyone? Okay, then we have a list of committee and regional district reports, but I think everyone can go through theirs on their own. I don't think that we need to have a discussion on them. So we've got 15 minutes for public input. Do we have anyone in the gallery or anyone online that would like to make a comment or ask a question? Not you, you're not, you're neither. No. No,
It's not a question.
no.
It's about a resident.
Okay, Councillor Bush, you want to make a comment before we close?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I forgot all about it today. Last night, a gentleman came up to me and was made a remark, which I thought was a little strange. He indicated that we didn't hire our local fire chief through our local department. And he said it was council's decision not to do that. And I said, no, we don't get involved in hiring. That's our CAO. And so a little bit of a debate there, but anyway, I just want to let you know it's out there that, some people think that we didn't hire within. So I just told him he's wrong. I said that we leave that up to staff and, we hire the CAO and that's who we hire and they hire everybody else. So I just wanted to bring it up, and I thought it was strange that everybody, or he says everybody thinks we said no to hire local. And I said, no, that's not the truth. So I just thought I'd bring that up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Counselor Rich.
To the chair, sorry, I missed it in my counselor's report. Shuswap Community Foundation, the senior center, they were granted $6,000 for an ice machine through our funding. They've now decided they don't need the ice machine and they want a coffee maker. And yes, coffee makers actually cost $6,000. So that had to go back to Shuswap Community Foundation folks. Everyone voted yes, that they could trade out their money to get a coffee maker instead of an ice maker. But part of the process is for me to let everybody know. Go for coffee at the senior center on Wednesdays. It's gonna be good.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Recommendation to adjourn our regular council meeting at 5:48 Wednesday, March the 27th. Could I get a mover? Counselor Bushel, Counselor Bailey, all in favor. And thank you everyone for being here. We're done.